Guy. Welcome back to Whoopsie Daisy Farm. This update for April is super late because May was just so jam-packed, and I'll hopefully get that update published soon so you can see why. April began with us cleaning up some storm damage from the monsoons that hit us at the end of March. Those storms weren't nearly as bad as the ones that we started getting at the end of April into May, but again, more on that in the next update video. These early spring storms were fairly manageable, and we had lots of help from our two-legged and four-legged cleanup crews with the downed branches. The trouble was that the rains made the winter paddocks absolute muddy messes and started flaring up some health issues with the dairy ewes, especially with like their hooves. Let's go. Sue's already going. Yeah. Come on. The entire area in front of the barn and milking parlor became a muddy swamp, and it hasn't really stopped being muddy from then until now in June when I'm publishing this video. We still trekked through the mud for daily milking, and it has been so lovely to have fresh sheep milk products again. This year I have tackled cheese making hardcore and started trying the recipes that I've been collecting for the last few years. While this means I probably won't have any milk for the freezer for our off-season in milking, we will have plenty of cheeses to enjoy during the winter. We are a family that spends a shocking amount of grocery money on cheese and milk products every month, so I really need to expand my dairy processing skills beyond just soap making and into meeting our dairy needs from our own animals and stop buying it from off-farm. The weather was absolutely lovely in April when it wasn't raining, and Nat and I had fun playing in the pastures with the sheep. It's a lot nicer for our toddler now that we have bottle babies who will come up and play with him. While it is healthier for the lambs to be raised by their mothers, it's a great experience for Nat to have two friendly little lambs who love hanging out with him. Although I do have to watch as they both mimic each other. Nat has entered the stage of toddlerhood where he believes that vegetables are toxic, but he will eat all the grass and clover Wendell and Daisy point out to him. Are you stuck? Oh, no, you can get out whenever you want. Okay, that's good to know. I also published my second ebook in April on bringing your new sheep home. It's available on my website at whoopsiedaisyfarm.com under our book section of our online shop.
So her mama rejected her, and then his mama's one we had to kill. Oh. So we went from no bottle babies to 2 bottle babies in the space of a day. Yeah, it was a long day.
Help us, we're being stolen!
Help!
Pulled up to Ohio for my cousin's wedding, and since the Lamb twins are still very milk dependent in their diet, we decided to take them with us. While the Airbnb host had a very clear no pets rule, when Kyle emailed them ahead of time and explained the situation, they were more than happy to accommodate us. It was actually a former goat farm, so they had paddocks we could leave the lambs in while we were at the wedding. It's always nice to have a break from the homestead and see family and reacquaint ourselves with normal 21st century American living. But then it's a huge relief when we come back to our homestead and dive back into living like we are peasants from Eastern Europe.
Eustace. Hi. You're a goofball.
We had 6 ewes total in milk at this point, and I was hand milking all of them daily. I always forget when milking season begins and learn how tired my hands, arms, and shoulders will get, and what thick calluses I develop on my hands. I grow heavily dependent on herbs and homeopathy for muscle and ligament support until everything is strengthened. At some point, we may have to move to a milking machine, especially if we expand beyond 6 ewes. But for now, I really enjoy the one-on-one time hand milking gives me with my girls. It also is a good way to keep track of their udder health.
Eustace got in front of Giselle.
Yes, and I guess because he's her, she's not knocking him off his throne.
Good job, Nat.
Way to go, bud. Daisy. Good job.
There you go. Good job.
So good. Nat's doing such a good job. Great job, Nat. Everybody?
Looks like it.
Hey, Nat.
Hi. How are you? How you been?
Because of all the flooding in our barn lots, the dairy ewes got to go out on pasture before the other 2 sheep groups.
I'm sorry, girl. You have to wait.
Which I felt a little guilty about. However, with Kyle's new job and the intense schedule he was on at the time, moving the cows and the milking sheep was about all we could handle together during that month. We actually found out with only a few weeks' heads up that he was going to be switched to night shift, and that really impacted our daily routines.
This is the closest Arwen stood next to the sheep in years.
It is.
I guess she's been taught by Ziva what to do.
Well, the Gulf Coast aren't in here.
Oh, that's true.
Yay, stick.
One day while Kyle was sleeping after night shift, I was checking the mail and noticed a honeybee swarm hanging in our pear tree. It was at just the right angle and height that I was able to catch it. Catching bee swarms used to be a huge occupation of mine in the spring and early summer. But since getting pregnant with Nat, I haven't been able to do anything with the bees. In order for us to beekeep, we will have to switch away from the Langstroth and Warray hives we started with and move to a Layan-style hive, and it's still something we aren't even sure we can add on in the future.
Okay, so there's still bees up here. The sheep need milked. But they've gotten their butts stuck up in the air. I never saw her, but I did get the queen when they stick their butts up in the air. That's called Nasinoff landing. And they're sending out a pheromone to call the other bees in, saying she's here, this is home. So, woohoo! I just hope she's in the hive, because it looks like they may be chaining on the outside of the hive.
But in the meantime, our feral hives aren't hurting anything. We just stick them in boxes and let them do their thing. We don't get a honey harvest, but we are developing some really healthy bee stock for if and when we want to add honey into our homestead products. In a nutshell, April was probably the most chill month we've had this year. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video when we tell you how insanely crazy May was.